How's it going, YouTube? Welcome to number 5 in my Animation Nodes example series. This example builds upon the last one, number 4, where I had planets. It's as though these shapes are the planets. Just like in the last example, this setup with matrix out, combine matrices, create matrix list, and all of these other ones are pretty much the same as the other example. We start by scaling the object, we rotate the object, we send it out from the center, and then we revolve it around the center. That order has to be maintained or else it won't work right. So we get our effect of going around and rotating. See, these things, each one is rotating, but it's really kind of pulsating. And it's because I've got it being controlled by a sine or a cosine wave. But one of the most important things is these 3 nodes here determine where it's going to be on the circle. So the circle has 6.28 radians roughly. So we take the amount of elements that we have in our circle and divide the whole circle by that number. In this case, we've got it set at 7. So here's where I call my subprograms, and I have 7 elements. The way this is set up, I can change this number to anything I want, say 4, and on the fly it changes it to 4 elements of each type. So that number is now passed to the number, and the number is then sent and divided into 6.28, which is how far around the circle it is. Then I take my index and multiply that by the number that I got here, and that puts my elements at defined distances based on how many there are. So here you have 4 elements, so you're dividing the circle by 4 times. Then we say 0, 1, 2, 3. So it multiplies that division that I had here to put it where it's supposed to be on there. So like if there was 12, let's do this. If there was 12, you know, if I divide my 6.28 by 12, and then I multiply that by the index, then I get one that's 12 o'clock, this one's at 1 o'clock, this one's at 2 o'clock, this one's at 3 o'clock, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So these 2 nodes put each element in their right place on the circle. If I don't have that, then all of them are stacked on top of each other. I mean, they still do what they're supposed to do, but there's 12 of these right on top of 12 of these, and you can't see them. So I plug that back in, and it goes right to where it's supposed to be. Now, this node right here is really just an offset, because if this offset, and you can see I've got it labeled offset here, if this offset wasn't different for each, this object here, and the sphere, if it wasn't different, then they would be on top of each other. This would be fully aligned with this one would be fully aligned with this one, and the effect wouldn't be very good. So here I'll take this one and change it to 0, and now my squares, my cubes here, are aligned with the sphere, and the effect isn't very good. We want them to be off from each other and move independently. So I'll just undo that. There we go. Now they're offset again from each other. So remember, all of these nodes, put them where they're supposed to be on the circle, then this node offsets them. So then they add that output from the offset to what's going on the frame. So this one makes it so that the things rotate around a lot slower. So I can change the speed of it. Whoopsie. I can change the speed of it by changing this number. So I'm going to say 0.1. And now they're booking. See how it's doing all that? So then I use cosine and sine waves to make it so that they go in and out and also up and down. See how they're undulating with each other. And they're all offset from each other because of my offset here. Now, if I didn't do this add right here, then everything would be in the center of itself. So my add is actually adding what I call out, and it's how far out it is from the center. So this one's 5, this one's set at 5, and this one's set at 7. So if I were to unplug that guy so that it's not going out, oopsie. Oh, it's set at 5. So it's defaulting at 5. So if I didn't have that plugged in and I had it at 0, or this didn't even exist here, this is what I would get, which is a pretty cool effect in itself, but that wasn't what I wanted. I wanted it to be out a ways, and I wanted to be able to control each one's distance from the center. And that's what this parameter does. So here, multiplying this one by 3 just makes the amount of fluctuation bigger, is all. That's pretty much it. Now, this blend file will be available on blenderartist.com, and it'll be linked below in the information. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment. Also, please like and subscribe, and have a great day.